As being a lover of all things vintage, as well as class, designer, and leather, let's get into this beauty. This is a Fendi Roma bag. It's vintage. It has leather straps. That's that beige taupe color part, as well as a coated canvas leather that has the logos with the F's on there. But the rest of it is leather. So honestly, I thought this was a really cool bag to thrift and be able to transform for a travel bag. And so right now what I'm doing is cleaning off the debris on the bag. And I have this solution that I purchased from Amazon, like everybody else purchases everything from Amazon. And I am just using a brush to clean off the debris. And I just want to make sure that this bag is clean because my goal is to repaint this bag all over again. So I don't want any of the leather flaking off. So I'm doing this with adding no extra liquid besides the solution itself. I think that's important to mention because if you would have added extra water with this type of material, I just don't think it would be a good situation. And I want to make sure it's dry faster. So that's why I'm not really focusing on the coated canvas portion. I'm really focusing on that leather because I'm not going to paint the coated canvas. The coated canvas was in great condition. That's why I really like this bag for like travel purposes, because I could always keep painting this leather. If anything like chips, I can just paint the leather. So now what I'm doing is conditioning my bag. So this, you just need a little bit of water. You want to use more soap than water. So I guess you would say 1 part water and then 2 part soap. So you just really wanted to make sure it's sudsy. And right now I'm just scrubbing the whole bag. There's no harm in it. However, I'm going to really just fixate on the outer edges as well as the straps, the genuine leather portion of the bag, because I just want to make sure that it's completely conditioned. And I also do this with my other bags and shoes. If you want your bags to last longer, or your shoes or anything that is leather, like even my jackets, I condition them every year. It's annoying. However, it makes me more mindful about what I am purchasing. And then right now I'm just drying everything off. And as you can see right there, that's the part that's kind of like coming apart that I kind of flicked off from me scrubbing it. Also, this bag was not adjustable, and that does not work for myself. As being a cobbler apprentice at a point in my life, I'm just going to make this adjustable. So I have learned the hard way about cutting bags or straps. You always want to cut a little bit more because you need to make sure that you can bend over the leather into the clasp. I don't know exactly what it's called, like the lobster clasp, I will call it. So that's what I'm looking at this moment. And I just have some scissors that I'm going to use. I purchased from Amazon that I just use for my leather works. These are not scissors I use to eat with. Make sure it's different. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is mark off the holes that I want to puncture into the straps, because this bag was not adjustable. It only had one strap going from one side to the other. And for my purpose and for how I like to style my bags, I like to have a variety of holes to use, but not too many, because a lot of bags don't typically have more than like 4 or 5 holes. So I like to stay within that realm. Now I also added a loop keeper to the bag because I'm going to make it a shoulder bag as well as a crossbody bag. just to make it a little bit easier. And then this is just a raw high leather strap, like loop keeper. So you can paint it any color you want. And then this is actually me using the leather hole puncher to actually punch out these holes in this leather. And I think this is a great thing to have in your house, because think about like how many belts that you need to take in or anything else that you kind of need to punch holes in. It's very convenient. The only thing is, I didn't really like using this craft mat per se. I would say use what the professionals use, which is rubber. I use a rubber mat because this was loud. It was loud. It was obnoxious. And I actually did punch a little hole into the mat. So I think that's avoidable if I would just have rubber. So going forward in the future, I think I'm going to get a rubber mat and just have a little area. And then what I'm also doing right now is trimming the ends off, because I didn't want it to be a blunt cut. I wanted something that was more curvy, because I felt like that would fit the style of the bag a little bit better. So I'm just tailoring off the ends of the strap. And right now you can see I'm just seeing how it looks, and I'm pretty freaking excited, honestly, because it's coming together exactly how I wanted it to. Because now I just got to get ready to paint it. And this little baby is ready to go. Okay. Oh, and this is like how I wore it as a shoulder bag. And this is how I wear it, honestly, majority of the time, as a shoulder bag. I was only going to wear it as a crossbody when I use it to travel. Another thing I had to do with the bag is make sure the zipper was working properly. And the zipper threads, or the zipper teeth, they were fine. However, they did have some debris in them. So I made sure when I was scrubbing it initially with the first part to target the zipper teeth. And now I have some lubricant from Amazon that I'm just putting in between like the slider as well as the teeth, and I'm pulling it back and forward, because this bag hasn't been used in a long time. Definitely not cared for in the same sense. So I just want to make sure that there's no zipper issues. Because if you have zipper issues, now you got to take the zipper out and re-sew it in, and that's a whole other set of problems. And then these teeth on this bag is plastic as well, so keep that in mind. So it really just needed a nice cleaning and some lube on there. Oh, I don't know why I giggled. You know what? I was thinking of something like a TV show. What's a TV show that mentions lube? I don't know why I was thinking of Napoleon Dynamite, but that's not it. Give me your thoughts. Okay, so now I'm just taping off the bag, and I just want to ensure that no paint will get on this bag at all, because I have to figure out which colors to use, because it took me a while to actually figure it out. I went to the store at least 2 to 3 times to purchase paint, and then I realized, and I went to Amazon on top of that, because I was mixing taupe as well as black together in white to get this exact color. And be honest, I could not get the same exact color. It's a little bit different than the original Fendi color. However, I painted everything and it matched so well, you really can't tell. But I know it's a little different. It's a little bit green, like an army green undertone to the brown. And then right now, what I like to do from experience, because things can drip, you just want to cover up as much as possible. So it's really important to take your time and just watch a TV show or listen to music or a podcast while you do this portion, because you don't want paint seeping through to other parts of it and then having to use a thinner to get it off the bag. And then if you was working with two different colors of paint, then you'll be doing that at the same time. Like, it's too much. Another trick that I learned from experience is using chopsticks to go into the crevices to ensure that everything is sealed off appropriately, like there's no baby gaps. Because you don't want any baby gaps, because that's what's going to make it really hard, and that's what's going to seep through, and then you're going to use thinner or acetone to get the rest off, meaning the excess paint that you put on the portion of the bag that you didn't want to paint, bag or shoe. Because whatever you do with leather, as long as you use real leather, you can paint anything. You can paint pleather too, it's just not going to last as long. So always get leather, not PU leather, but actual leather. Leather will last you forever. It's real grain material, like it's real hide, real biodegradable material. You can always repair it. You can take it to a professional. They have like cobblers online that you can ship things to. You can repair it at home. However, you cannot repair leather. It's always going to peel, and unless you like that look. But even with leather, you can have that whole rustic look with leather, but it's not going to peel. Leather is going to peel. Oh, another thing I need to note, you want to make sure you tape off some of the hardware, like the zipper pull. That's important, because when you're painting the way I paint, I don't like to take my time, honestly, because I'm going to paint multiple layers, and I paint thin coats of layers. So you see right here, I'm mixing stuff. I realized that I only had to use taupe and black to get this color. You don't need to, once you tape everything off appropriately, you can paint through and then be a little bit messier because you taped it off so well that I'm able to like kind of just move it around and then make sure you don't have any drippage. And you just want to get the strap. The only thing I wish I would have done is got this went through the strap again. Instead of doing it twice, did it 3 times, because that's the area that you touch a lot and move around a lot. And so I would do that as well. But I can always do it again. So that's why I like being able to paint my bags at home, because I can just change the color if I wanted to or touch it up. And I'm not going to get mad at anyone else because it's my autograph. And I had something to do with it, like the time spent into crafting this bag, custom designed for myself. So what I did was, now I'm just going to take off all the extra tape, and I already have the hardware on there. At this point, I'm basically done. And as you can see, the color of the paint was a little bit different when I was painting, but it's not that much of a variance that you will be able to tell, especially because this bag is vintage. But you see this tape job? Oh my goodness. It's like the most rewarding portion is like getting that tape off. And it's just regular masking tape, like just painter's masking tape. That's all you need. Nothing super sticky. And then you see how much paint was on that white paper towel? Yeah. Tape that off, because you will be painting the part that's in the middle, or the part that's on like what, one quarter of it, the bag, or that's not my strong suit. And I already turned the bag over, so I really can't get a real concept of where that divide was at. Okay, but let's move on. So as you can see, I lubricated the zipper, I conditioned the bag, I shortened the strap and made it adjustable, and I also cleaned the bag. And now this is me actually putting the bag on and just seeing how it fits after wearing it, or not wearing it, but actually just completing it. And I'm really proud of myself, because this was a single strap bag that was vintage, and it was not done into its entirety. Someone could have been like, oh, this has been a cute bag, and then just stored it. But I actually wear this bag a lot. Like a lot. I actually wore it on vacation. I'll throw a picture or two in here of me like actually wearing the bag. But this bag is one of my favorites now because it has my autograph. I have the short shoulder strap, the gorilla grab. That's what my uncle calls it. And I also have the crossbody, so it's very comfortable. And it's the outside is, since it's a coated canvas, a coated leather, it makes it really easy to avoid staining on the bag, and it's water resistant. Look at this. The only thing else I would say is I will put a clear coat on there. I didn't do that because I was like, it's just super excited to wear it. But that's another thing. I would have painted the straps 3 times and then put a clear coat over all of the leather again. But I know I could do that again. So when I feel like I want to do another project, I might just do that to just put a little pizzazz on the bag. Overall, this project took about 3 to 5 days to complete because of the multiple layers of paint that I put on there. And I used taupe and black paint. And here is the finished product in picture form in the wild.